This is Bang Bang Bang,
the JamJam Afrobeats show.
So actually, it's been like over a year since I last interviewed you guys.
It's been too long.
So back then I think you had Skankulu and you're about to drop Ching Chang Walla.
Done now.
We've seen some crazy videos with that one. Then Masquerade came, then Hammer came, and you've got a new one you're promoting at the moment. But there was kind of a dip in hype, let's say, for the, you know, like you came strong, you came hard with the first two. And then Masquerade was good too, then Hammer. I'm only saying that actually because you guys actually talked about it a little bit. You've been very honest, which I like.
We're honest.
And sort of said there's a kind of dip in the hype. That's not to say it's a bad thing, you know, you're still doing your thing, but there was kind of a small dip. How do you see your progression? By the way, before I should say that we've got AY from Weray and Gogo.
That no, in the building.
So who's going to take the first question? How do you see your progression?
I think our progression has been, I would say, to be honest, in honesty, it's been quite slow in comparison to what we would have wanted it to be for different reasons. I think a lot of people in the UK Afrobeat scene, a lot of people have got other stuff on. Some of us, you know, we're all young. A few of us are still in university and whatnot. So people have other commitments as well. So, you know, we can't fully put our time and energy into Afrobeats, you know. But at the end of the day, right now, we're back with a big banging new track. And yeah, from here, I think it's going to be onwards and upwards for us.
Okay, so, I mean, because you were new to the game, sort of like, what is it, over a year ago now, right?
It's been like 2 years. 2012 is when we came out. We came out with Weray, the visuals for that.
So did you think, like, because it's a hard game to be in, you know, and when you came strong with the first track, how did you find, like, now having the dip, you know, how have you addressed that balance and, you know, how have you seen yourself going forward, you know, what have you learnt from that process?
I think financially, we had a few constraints financially, and that set us back as well a lot. Because, you know, funding videos, you know, I think one thing I need to say and put out there, yeah, that being an artist is very, very costly. Paying for mixes, paying for the mastering of your tracks, then funding your videos. So everybody that's out there, that's put stuff out there on the UK side, I salute everybody because it's a hard graft. But right now, financially, we're in a very good place, and you know, the unity as well is stronger than ever. So right now, I feel like leading into the rest of 2040, you're going to see some very big things from Weray.
Now, I rate your videos. I love the videos. I love the ideas that you come up with. And it's unfortunate we don't have Obi here.
Because most people don't know this, but it's his team, Snowpix Media. He finds a production team. He runs a production team, sorry, that shoot our videos. And the concepts come from us. We think of the concepts together as a group. And we go out there, we shoot the videos ourselves, pull it out there, we push it ourselves, promo the tracks ourselves. And I think that's what people like about us. We're very hands on deck.
So walk me through, like let's do, like maybe you can choose one of the videos, Skankulu or Masquerade. Let's talk to Gogo about this. Like, walk us through how did you come up with the concept for the video idea?
Well, to be honest, we're like all creative people, so we like to think of crazy ideas, things that are a little bit out of the box, that people don't generally like doing. For Masquerade, I mean, we took the concept back to the old. I don't know how many people know about the inside village themes, what our Masquerade actually represents in the village, and it's all about dance and promoting culture. Some people can take it in the wrong context.
For those who don't know, let's talk. What is the Masquerade? I mean, I think those I've seen them in Lagos. They're the statues with they're holding the funny things. Is that them?
Originally, they came from the Igbo tradition. They're called Mmang in Igbo language, and what it's supposed to represent is the, in loose terms, is the collective expression of a village through dance. There's a lot of other connotations that is just long to go into, but basically that's the short and tall of the situation. So I mean, we thought about the song, how we produced the song, the lyrics and everything, and we thought about a concept that not only represented us as UK artists, but also a little bit of that old Igbo flavour and old connotations of where we come from in the video. So that's how we came up with the whole Masquerade video theme.
So what are you trying to say, like Masquerade? Is it like a warrior stance? What is it?
It's almost like that. It's almost like what is the strength of a human being? What's the strength of a man through what does the person's roots encompass when you bring it out? And the best way to bring that out is through dance.
So what came first, the idea for the song or the video? You had an idea of the concept of the video, then you made a song around it.
We'd already had the song recorded, and then we all sat down and brainstormed some ideas for for the video, and that's how we came up with it.
Obviously, with the hook, shout out to Obi. He's the one that really came out with. He's the one that really came and drove in the whole Masquerade theme, and he's the one that came up with the hook. And you know, obviously the track's called Masquerade. As soon as you know we threw that out there, we already had a direction we wanted to go in with regards to the video.
I mean, I must say you probably got the strongest videos from my mind from the UK Afrobeat scene. You're definitely up there. And talking
I think it's a lot of things that contribute to that. I think us as individuals, we're very different and we're very diverse. So that contributes to the energy we bring in the video. Most people, when they see Gogo, you know, they know he brings the hype. Andy as well, he also brings hype, but he's, you know, he's smooth. And me, you know, they see me and they say, that's the fine boy. You know, they call me the Mr. R&B in the group and whatnot. So because of that, you know, the videos, they cater to everybody.
Well, now you turned into a movie star. You're now Will Smith for the new video, right?
Ah, the new one.
you went method acting on them, didn't you?
You see that? I even cried in the video, man.
Oh, wow. No, I was quite impressed, actually.
It's crazy, man.
I was impressed and surprised. Don't be offended, but
I'm telling you, man.
You did well.
Most people look at me, they don't think, oh, this guy can act or whatnot. But I even surprised myself, you know. I'm surprised you didn't even ask me about the kiss, you know, that kiss that's inside the video.
All of that.
Well, since you brought it up,
oh man, that baby's final.
Let's talk about. Tell us who's, first of all, we'll get to the kiss, but who's starring in your new video, which is Do As I Say, and it's starring.
Dorcas Shola Fapson stars in it from Shuga Nigeria fame, and Emmanuel Ogunjimi, he also stars in the video, and he's prominent in a web series called Unfamous.
Yeah.
Unfamous, yeah.
So what? So who wrote into the script that you need to kiss this babe?
Who wrote this?
Wait, we got a story for this.
Go, tell us the story.
Well, originally when the script was written,
I read the script. Originally, Gogo was supposed to play the boyfriend and not the actor that we had, which was Emmanuel.
Tell him why it was changed, why?
Why was he changed?
Hey, what? Tell him why.
I don't even remember. Why was he changed, though?
Well, basically, yeah, there was some situations that obviously you can't talk about on radio.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Just between us.
I just clocked what I was about to say, and I can't say it on radio, innit? So.
No, but wait, can you say something of what
I can say? I said basically, yeah, like obviously once we realised who the main girl was and how the script was working, it didn't really fit that like somebody in as part of Weray wasn't supposed to, like, wasn't the one to be to. I don't know what I'm saying.
Even myself, I'm confused about what are you talking about?
Wait, so one of you guys had something to do with that Dorcas babe?
Someone had something to do with something that meant that the script had to get changed, basically.
Wait, Verbal, help me out with this one because I'm
confused, bro.
I'm
equally confused. This guy, he's speaking in parables right now.
I'm talking to him because I'm trying to get myself out of the situation I just got myself into.
Yeah, you just have a big hole, a very big hole.
I can't say what.
Wait, okay, go.
Yeah. What's good?
Just let's address this situation.
Oh man, this thing is too much.
Wait. So basically, no, I just want to know roughly.
Yeah.
You've had a relationship with Dorcas.
No.
This
Nobody's
is how rumors start. JamJam, cool down.
Nobody's had a relationship.
This is how rumors start. Real talk, man.
Okay.
I met her through these lot there.
So you've had who's the guy in the video?
Who's the guy? Emmanuel Ogunjimi.
Okay, so Gogo, you've had a relationship with Emmanuel.
No.
That's it. It must be that.
That's all side.
It must be that. It must be.
That's all side.
Wait, so what is it? I don't get. Who's had a relationship with this Dorcas babe? That's what it is basically.
Nah, do you know, when we come off air, I will tell you. I can't really.
To be honest, I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know about any relationship. All I know, that baby's fine, man. I have to put it out there again, man.
And like we were talking about earlier, you worked into the script that you get to kiss her.
I wrote the script, but originally I didn't write the kiss scene, you know. I didn't write that, but you know, these lot thought that it would add to. They're saying I'm lying in the studio, but honestly, it wasn't there. I'm being real true to God alone, man. God knows, like it wasn't there. But these lot said that it would, you know, it would make the video a lot better than what it would have been. So,
and it did,
you know.
So what did she say when you said the video involves a kiss?
She's an actor, so you know it comes natural to her, so to speak. So she didn't really have a problem with it at all.
So did you go in?
Did I go in? Oh man, I went in, man. What I even did, you didn't even get to see in the video, man. You know what? The way they edited the thing, bro. You don't even see the full story.
So what did you do? So tell us now.
Oh man, I did everything, man. Anything you can think of, I did it, man.
Did you catch? Oh,
it's daytime. Oh, it's daytime. It's true.
But did you grab her? You cuddled her?
Yash, everything, man.
It's deep. It goes deep.
Okay.
She's now had 2 members of Weray, right?
No one. Honestly speaking, I don't know any many members she's had.
Rumors.
You know, she's an actor. You know, and personally speaking, truth to God, I think she's an incredible actor, a young actor coming up. You know, I really think she did herself proud in that Shuga Nigeria show, and I'm eagerly anticipating what she's gonna do next. So shout out to her, man.
It had a movie feeling to it. There was a storyline, there was a beginning, a middle and end. AY starts off with this kind of bum character who lost the girl, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
and then you get her back.
Yeah, I get the girl back, man.
So you're all looking unshaven and afro is blazing around everywhere.
Oh man, I had to grow that hair for like 6 weeks, man. Management orders, man. I was dying, suffering. I couldn't go to no public function.
And then you come back with a clean trim.
Clean one.
And you got a singlet on.
Singlet on,
showing the pecs.
Show, oh, man. You know how they go, man. I go gym, man. When you see me in the gym.
Can we just clock that JamJam said singlet?
Okay, vest. What does it say? Vest top.
Vest top, man. That's why I like DJ JamJam, man. No fooling, man.
So but I just want to have it clear. So you use tongues for Dorcas?
No, they use no tongue. I'll be honest on that.
Yeah, you got no swag. What happened? You let me down here, right?
Guy, man. You know we have to.
You should have slipped one in. She can't do anything.
It's true. It's true.
Right.
I'm telling you, man. Even literally speaking, when I was like, you know, I was caressing her and whatnot, the way she was pinching me, like, cool down, you know. I was biting off a bit more than I could chew in it, so.
We did.
Okay, top of the flops, we had a look back at 2013, just looking at some tracks that we thought maybe weren't as great as they could have been from some artists that we liked in the scene. And that's basically what it was. And we did a look back.
Liked? What, don't you like them anymore? What?
No, that we, you know, I'm talking past tense.
Okay,
AY,
cool.
yeah, don't start another. Don't try it, AY.
They're my
try it.
homies, man. Real talk.
So yeah, basically it caused a little Twitter storm, and we actually had some complaints from Ofcom over it.
What?
Yeah, believe it or not. So
seriously?
Yeah, it went quite deep. A lot of
crazy, man.
big people in the industry were calling Bang
Right.
Radio, trying to shut us down.
They say no publicity is bad publicity. So right, take on the chin, boy.
So what did you guys? What's your viewpoints on the whole?
I just want to ask you, like, yeah, where did this come from?
Where did this concept
when you
come
sat
from?
down, what possessed you to think, okay,
Top
we're
of
going
the
to
floor.
sit down
Money's
today
idea.
and create a list of songs and call it? Why did you call it Top of the Floor?
Whose idea was it?
No, actually, it was an existing feature. But we all of us had different. It is an evolution of different ideas. All of us have in a meeting.
Okay.
But it wasn't actually about Top of the Flops.
Yeah.
It was just about reviewing the year. Verbal Vixen was reviewing the year.
Okay.
And I've always had this thing of Top of the Flops.
Yeah.
We all talked about it. I don't even know.
And
not one person came up with it.
No, and it was also about looking forward to 2014 today in January, obviously, and talking about talent that we thought were gonna come up and people that have been doing stuff. So it was actually an overview of the year and the year to come.
This is my second, and before I let AY move on, my other query, and this was my whole main query on Twitter and just in general.
Let me just add to it what you said. The reason why Top of the Flops, Top Flops got added in, I think, if I remember rightly, it was the whole, during that time, there was a lot of media attention for that particular track, Boo Boo Gaga.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, hang on, we should need,
It
if we're
was
just
in the
doing
newspapers and all this.
exactly.
Like that, I hear that.
So it was like, okay, we should at least rate tracks that we
Yeah.
didn't do so well in the year, as well as, you know, give the full picture.
Yeah, I hear that.
Because, you know, otherwise it'd be boring, really.
that,
So,
I get that.
but we didn't actually think it would cause as much. We thought, oh, maybe a few people will raise the eyebrow or something, but we didn't think it
A
would
lot of
go
people
as deep as
locked
it
in. Even people that didn't lock in, they went back to go and listen to the podcast. It was on everyone's lips, man.
So what was the second question you wanted to
The
ask?
second question I wanted to ask is, in this day and age, what constitutes a flop, and how do we quantify that? That was my
That's a
that
really
was the
good
main that was the main crux of what I was trying to say on
Especially
Twitter.
in this scene that we're in now
Because
as well.
what it is, I mean, as an artist myself, I know what process you have to go through to make a track, and how long it is, and all the different parts that go into that. So, what I wanted to know was how you came to a conclusion of what should be inserted into that category and what constitutes basically as a flop.
Yeah, I think it's subjective, isn't it? Anything to do with music.
Yeah, it's definitely
you know, like
subjective.
even you guys have argued between yourselves about what should be your lead single, or you know, everyone has a different opinion of what, and it is kind of an X factor thing. Like there's a lot of different things that can go into making a flop, whether it be personal, you just don't feel the style of the song, whether it just don't get airplay in the clubs or radio, or the beat you don't like. Maybe you don't even understand the language, you know, things like that. You know, there's so many different, like maybe you're Igbo and it's a Yoruba thing, or maybe you're from Ghana, you know, there's so many things that can constitute a flop in someone. But for, I mean, in that Top of the Flop section, we had the Banj, EL, and the Mr. 2K, Boo Boo Gaga.
Yeah, some
so we we try to represent, you know, as you know, a wide variety. You got one from Ghana, one from Nigeria, and then well, he's UK, but he was from Nigeria, the Mr. 2K. So we thought we just, and like I said, like the band, #1 artist around the world, probably, you know, in the Afrobeat scene, but that track wasn't good. That what was it? The Top of the World track.
Yeah,
wasn't
Top of the World track.
It was a kind of a flop or a departure from style. Let's say that, you know, in my eyes anyway, particularly. EL, that was Fifi's selection. Well, he's gonna hate me for baiting him out on that, but it was group.
It was like mostly like some group selections. But that was Chelsea, the song.
Lyrical content was questionable on that track, and then the Mr. 2K one, I just thought it was mediocre, to be honest. Like, and I thought that, not that it was a particularly very bad track, but if I could have a red top tabloid newspaper from the UK write about an Afrobeat song, I will not choose that one.
I heard that.
You know, there's many tracks I would put above that one. 20 UK tracks before I'd done
that was what the context about was.
I actually, the reason why I personally got involved, because I actually like the song, innit? Like you said, it's not particularly, it's not bad. I could bump to that track here. I would agree and say that it wouldn't be at the top of my list, but for me personally, it wouldn't constitute as a song worthy of that. Because do you know what it was? It's the spin. I'm a journalist in it, so I get taught about spin, and how you present something to the public is very, very important. So when you say flop to people, especially we're in London, so when you say flop to people, they think, yeah, this tune is trash. Like, basically, that's what most people's thought of floppy. So I think the way it was spun, it took a lot of people to what flop actually means. So I wouldn't necessarily, I liked the tune personally. I thought I could bump to it. It might not be the best tune I've heard, but it's viable, isn't it? So that's why I thought, I understand where the concept was going, but I don't know if I really agree.
Do you know what I thought? I thought it was a poor imitation of Timaya.
Wow.
That's what I'm being true, you know, because that's like is the repetitive thing, is making the whole, you know. I get frustrated sometimes that there's a lot of artists copying other artists, you know, they pick, like, I'm gonna make up a new word, JamJam or whatever, you know, and I'll bring out a track with it and I'll just repeat it 10 times with a banging beat. And that's, you know, because if I break down the track and all I don't have a problem with any of the artists on it, you know, we've rated a lot of them, you know, and even the producer, we've rated a lot of his tracks. It's just that particular collective, admittedly, is not as bad as saying what we're saying, but just the hype, it didn't deserve the hype, and I just feel sorry for my brothers out there like yourself, which I've had on the show, and I've seen the hard work you do, and I know if I spin those tracks in the club, they're going to get response. I've never had anyone ask me to play that track.
I heard that. Personally, JamJam, from my point of view, I get that it's not a personal vendetta against anyone. It's not a personal attack.
Exactly. Let me finish there, because I've never really dissed the artist himself. I'm talking about the material.
I get that fully, because, you know, all those artists on that track, personally speaking, at one point or not, I've had them on my iPod. You know, May 7, shout out to her. Like, she's a good artist. She's a good artist. Molo goes where he's doing his thing now. That's my boy. Like, literally speaking, since Pangolo, like, we've been tight, and literally speaking, that was a banging track. And even Mr. 2K, before he crossed over to this market, I used to listen to him when nobody knew him. Like, he had one track called Run This Town when he signed to Grafton Records. So he had one track called Run This Town, and it was a very, very big track, but, you know, his sound now has got a bit watered down with the fact that he's trying to break into this market sort of thing. That's what I feel, and I feel like that was the culmination of what you saw on Boo Boo Gaga, him trying to experiment with a new sound that doesn't fit him. But personally speaking, I get that they're all credible artists and they can all make good music, so I know that it's not a personal.
So you thought it was a flop too?
I feel like it's not the greatest track, and the reason why I'll say that, personally speaking, is because it's not a track that I would have on my iPod. You get what I'm trying to say? But I'd also, at the same time, I get the direction that they were going for, and it's not every song that an artist makes that, you know, is going to be tailored towards you. You get what I'm trying to say? And that Boo Boo Gaga track, I wouldn't be surprised if people in primary school, a secondary school, they're bumping that track saying this is sick, and those are the people that buy music. So at the end of the day, you can't hold that against anybody. That's what I feel personally.
Everybody's protecting their pride, protecting their material, protecting their own backs, to be honest.
That's it.
And also, not to sound any sort of way, Twitter's a social network where people feed off what's popping. So whether you're talking about something in a negative or a disparaging manner, as long as it's feeding some sort of buzz on Twitter, a lot of people will jump on it. So, like AY said, a lot of people heard about the controversy the day after and went back to listen to the podcast. People who don't usually
tune
into that kind of stuff or material. Like, so if you looked at a lot of people tweeting, they weren't actually directly involved in anything that was said.
Let's bring your manager in too, because Io Matthews.
Yes, Io, you were very vocal during the whole Top of the Flop saga. So step up to the mic.
We just want your opinion on the matter, because you did talk a lot about it, and I appreciate that. I've said this before. I appreciate, this is what I wanted. I want debates, you know. I don't want everything nice, everything's lovely jubbly, you know, that kind of thing.
I hear that.
You know, call a spade a spade. So you actually said on Twitter you were shocked. You are shocked by what you have seen.
Come on, man.
And now he's speechless.
He's actually shining.
Yeah, man. I was shocked by what I saw, but and
because you don't usually see that in the Afrobeats
what
market.
it caused, I was like, wow. So what I said what I saw, which was the tweet, obviously coming from Bang with the hashtag Top of the Flops. I think that's really what caused the stir, and no one actually took time to actually listen to the show and listen to what was said. And when I went back and listened to the podcast myself, I said there's nothing wrong with what you guys said. I mean,
you did. I did see that.
Yeah, that's like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's just that artists are really, like Gogo said, protective.
I like that, because a lot of people still carried on dissing on Twitter, but they never actually listened to the show.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, people want to talk about it, but no one wants to like research or actually know what was actually said. They just saw Top of the Flops, and that's how people will be going around saying, they called it a flop, they called it a flop, when in reality, if you listen to what was said, they gave a reason, and they didn't really like knock any of the artists or the track itself. It's just an opinion, and everyone is entitled to.
I think May 7's point, I saw her tweet, and I think her point was that it came from, like, the tweet, she saw it from Bang Radio, so she saw it as like this radio station that show me love, they play my music, like somebody here is trying to sabotage me, sort of thing, because she saw the tweet from Bang Radio, I think, and she felt like Bang Radio were trying to attack her, when she knows in the back of her mind the people behind the scenes of Bang Radio actually support her.
And it got playlisted as well.
And on top of that, Bang Radio playlisted the same track which they labelled a flop. So I get why she was vexing in that respect, but you know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Twitter thing, like, we tweet every song that we put out there, whether it's good. So weeks on week, we give artists free promo, basically. Do you know what I mean? So there's times all the tweet went out, it was the JamJam Afrobeats show now playing the song, then hashtag Top of the Flops. So it wasn't necessarily anything worse than that, you know. We just tweeting the song that was being played, but obviously I understand that can be construed in a negative light, and I don't know, but my view is like, if we could have done it and then not atted the artist, then it'd be like an indirect.
Yeah, I heard that.
You know what I mean? So it's like we're putting it out on the table, and if we're gonna rinse your track, we're also gonna be atting you. So which, you know, if you had to choose, you know, we don't at the artist at all, or we spin and we at everything. Everything goes.
At least then it's equal ops, isn't it? Like, you know, whether we're saying something nice, whether we're saying, you know what I mean?
But
you know what we're saying.
I think it's high time that well, I think you should pioneer. I think it's high time you had a voting system. What's wrong with that? Because I mean, like, your listenership is pretty good. Play a lot of the tunes that people relate to. You can get a voting system out here. See who's actually really popping in terms of what the fans think out there.
We did actually do that. Shout out to sponsors, not just OK.com. We used to do top 20 poll.
Yeah, I remember that.
What happened to that then?
It's the work that goes into it. You know, setting up the poll, getting the votes in, announcing everything, that kind of thing. It's the work. It's not to say that it won't come back again, but it is a lot of work when I can just pick out a flop and say, this track is rubbish.
As you said, that's subjective to your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't reflect what
and it's
the
like,
masses might
you
think.
see it all the time, movie reviews, they say whether it's bad or good, you know, let's make it fun. And at the end of the day, it gets more people talking about it, and that's better for our industry as a whole anyway. And I wouldn't say anything that I wouldn't stand behind. Do you know what I mean? If I could have those guys in here now, I'd tell them the same thing.
I know
you know what I mean? I didn't say it behind closed doors, you know. So yeah, I would say it genuinely. But how I do understand, you know, I'm from the artist's point of view. I've made tracks too. You are a bit sensitive to it because you put your heart and soul into it, and then you put it out there, and then people just want to rip it apart. And then what have I done to deserve that kind of thing? So I do understand the whole point of view.
You say you made tracks as well, Some of your tracks are bangers, JamJam.
Thank you.
Jamilaya, banger. You had a verse on Nouveau, banger. Guy, when are you going to drop a flop?
Yeah. Well, you never know. Maybe someone already thinks I've done a flop already. Well, actually, I do have one. I have a track called Comme à Lobe.
I haven't heard that scene.
Yeah, and
I've only heard
I was going to talk about that later because He was actually supposed to have that grin on that track
Oh man,
before he passed away, and he passed away a couple of days ago this year. Well, 2010.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a tribute mix for him later on. Okay, we were talking about spring break as well, which I want to talk to you guys about. You know, just we're going to bring it back to the UK industry basically. So Ngozi was there reporting for another TV channel. Can we name the TV channel?
Hip TV.
Oh, well, you just did. All right. I want payment for that. So yeah, who performed at spring break?
Okay, we had some dancers. We had Nizzy and Dizzy, sexy Dizzy. Yeah.
Did he take off his top? Is that why you're saying he's sexy?
No.
Because I know he's got a nice, decent body and
Must have decent.
No,
he's decent now. Oh man, yeah.
he's a very decent guy. Dizzy is really decent.
Shout out to Dizzy.
Yeah, and Kira Kut.
Who was the best performance?
Oh, Dizzy.
Dizzy.
Yeah.
The
Wow,
way
Ngozi.
Ngozi's been in the studio right
You know,
now.
man, she blush now. What's that happen?
Because he was really good. He was really good.
The Jackin master.
Yeah, he got people
Stop it.
dancing.
Yeah,
he
he's
got
got- he's
people
got-
moving.
he's got
You know,
crazy
he's good
energy.
entertaining
Yeah.
because he gets the crowd in. Like, he gets everyone involved.
Okay, let me just ask the important question which I want to know about. I don't really
Okay.
care about who performed or who DJ'd on that. What were the girls like?
Were they sexy?
Ratchet!
Ratchet! Oh man.
I'm sorry,
We like Ratchet around here.
I know I'm not, you know, beautiful, but I'm
You're
just
beautiful.
saying.
Told you not to do that.
Look at this. Hey.
You did this on purpose, innit? So that we can give you compliments.
No, but I'm just saying, like, a concert like that or a show like that, I did not expect girls or ladies to come, you know, the way they were looking. I thought maybe they thought it was a carnival.
Yeah.
And you know, carnivals, you dress anyhow. But, you know, people came, colored faces.
So you expected more decorum from the people.
And not wearing innerwear.
You know where?
Yeah.
No pants.
Oh man, that's my kind of girl, man.
I actually had an American friend that went to it, and she was shocked, like, how little the ladies were wearing, considering how cold it was.
It was freezing.
Was the weather really bad?
It was cold. I myself, I was in a dress and a denim jacket, and I was like, oh my god, when am I going to be done? Because it was freezing, and I saw those girls, in fact, naked. Like,
Tell me about the married lady that came up to you because you were
Ooh.
filming. What did she say?
so I was filming, interviewing people, you know, finding out how the show was going, and a married lady walked up to me and she said, oh my god, please, my husband doesn't know I'm here, and please, I
Wow.
don't want you to get me in the shot.
That's crazy.
I'm like, no, I'm not getting you, you're safe. And I said, where's your wedding ring? And she said, I didn't bring it because I wanted to have fun.
What sort of marriage is that? Is that prison?
And I'm like, okay, that's fine, no problem, I'll get you in the shot. And she was like, thank you very much. I actually thought she was joking, but she wasn't.
She's definitely not a do as I say kind of girl.
Oh,
Right? There were DJs as well. Who killed it DJs wise?
Of course you would know who I'd say JamJam.
Who?
Fifi.
Oh, the cockroach
Fifi,
cruncher.
like other DJs, you know, kudos to you, but my Fifi did the, you know, got people
He repped it well.
moving. Yeah, like immediately Afrobeats started, everybody just started, you know,
Wow, that's
giving
good.
the moves. But it was really nice. It was good,
Spring break.
and the crowd was good for the first time. It was really good.
So there were a lot of artists on there, but we didn't have no Weray. What happened, guys? We weren't on the bill
Yeah,
for
where
that.
were
one.
you? I was looking up for you to
tell them
interview
to
you.
give the manager a call and we'll be
You see,
there.
that's what you see.
The manager
I saw
is
the
right here.
DL, you know.
That's it, man.
Why were you guys not here?
This is the Weray manager.
Based on
One or two. Basically,
based on one or two
if
logistics.
you're not talking money, it don't make sense, dog.
Wait, so basically all those artists on that bill never got paid.
We don't know, but obviously they
we
didn't give
don't
us a
know.
call with no money attached, so obviously we weren't there.
Realistically speaking, from what Ngozi is saying, you know, it sounds like it was a great platform. So kudos to all the artists that performed and killed it, because you know,
Okay,
it sounds like there was a good turnout.
Let's bring it seriously back to the industry now. You know, why aren't promoters pushing UK artists more, do you think?
They don't believe in us, maybe, or I just think a lot of promoters as well, they're a bit stringent with regards to, you know, like bringing people in the sense to, you know, the money side of things. Yeah, I'm trying to say they're flying in, they have money to fly in a lot of these overseas acts, but when it comes to the UK acts, you know, they're trying to get people on the freebie, and I feel like it's frustrated a lot of UK acts, because at the end of the day, we only want to be appreciated for what we do, and we only want to put that money back into funding our own craft. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it should be a you help me, I help you sort of thing, but I feel like it's not that right now.
So, I mean, I was talking to Gogo on Twitter about this, or a similar kind of instance, and you brought up the fact of, like, what it's like being a UK artist performing alongside an international artist. So what's the difficulties you're having there?
Right now, in the industry, I think there's a smoke screen that a lot of people are, I'd say, hiding behind. A lot of promoters that you speak to will tell you, oh yeah, UK artists don't take the craft seriously, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada, and all of that talk. I think it's nonsense, to be honest, because I think if you put, I'd say 50-60% of the UK acts on a stage with African,
They'll hold their own. That's the truth.
Not only do we hold our own, we shut it down. If you look at the shows that we did from Christmas to, well, backdated to maybe April, summer last year, we did a lot of shows with international acts. Apart from the top Donnies, I'm talking the R2Bs, the Tamayas, the A-listers, basically. Everybody else held their own on stage. Mo Logo, Dizzy, Weray Ent, who else was on the bills with us? Vibe Squad. We all held our own, and you can see that from the crowd interaction when we come out, the kind of love and feedback we get. So it doesn't make sense for them to say that we don't take our craft seriously, because we do everything they do, and we hold the stage in this country a lot better than a lot of the acts that are flown over. But like I said, I think there's this following that if you fly an international act over here, that they'll make you more money, unfortunately. So I think
personally, I feel like for UK acts, it's almost better to not coin yourself as a UK Afrobeats artist, because once you do that, you're blackballed, you're blacklisted, and you know there's a lot of other artists that they don't want to be associated with that brand, and for good reason, I think, because once you are associated with that brand, you know, for some strange reason, promoters don't seem to take you serious.
Oh, sorry, JamJam.
Yeah, go.
Pushing me in the back. Yeah, like a lot of UK artists have to like pay a fee to be on stage. Like, what's your thoughts about that? Why do you think promoters do that?
We've never had to do that, thankfully.
Why do you think?
To be honest, we've never had to do that, but we have been approached to be on a show and pay to get onto a show, and we've
Which show was that?
I won't say the name of the show.
Declined to mention,
but we kindly declined that offer. Yeah, I'm trying to say, it's one thing asking us to sell tickets to be on a show, or what?
Is it Coco Lounge?
No, it wasn't that. But here's why it doesn't make sense. You don't tell a DJ to pay to come play at your club. That doesn't work like that. You know.
Why do you think the promoters feel that they should ask the UK artists to do that, and then they wouldn't necessarily ask a bigger?
Like I said, again, it goes back to them trying to make the maximum amount of profit they can from the show. I think that promoters think that if you have a headline act, then everybody else doesn't really matter to some degree or extent. Yeah. So as long as the headline act draws in your tickets, then it's fine. But what you have to understand is, as much as we're not A-listers in terms of the music scene, the package is complementary. People don't just come to see an A-lister alone without the headline act, without the supporting acts or whoever else is on the bill. Having a strong bill sells out your whole show. If you look at a lot of the artists that are flown over, they couldn't hold a 3-hour set by themselves. So everybody works together as a package.
So who do you rate for the UK scene?
My rating list is long. Lola Ray, performances are solid and a half. Right now, Mo Logo, shout out to Marzi Chooks getting rinsed right now on my iPod. Who else is doing big things? Sonaman's doing quite a lot of things right now.
Doing really well.
He's doing a lot of things.
He did a triple release, and I think that was a very big gamble, but it's paid off. So shout out to him.
Yeah, Sona even made it onto the playlist here at Bang. Actually,
that's good
as well.
That's good.
Moving solid.
Mr. Silver, apparently I've heard he's been signed now, so you know I'm anticipating good things to him. Good things to come from him. So yeah, man, I think UK have a lot of big acts, as Gogo mentioned some already.
So who's not helping your cause as far as getting paid for the UK scene?
Who's not helping out? In what sense? In what sense?
Like, who's not good Afrobeats artists? They're not representing the Afrobeats scene.
That's crazy, man.
So you gotta stand up now.
Mum's the word, you know. Management is here. They don't want me to. They told me to bite my tongue. But honestly, JamJam, after the show, I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you.
Well, and then I can say who you told me.
If you like, you can say it.
I'm liberal.
You can even say allegedly. AY said. You get what I'm trying to say.
I'm liberal. I tend not to.
But I feel like it doesn't. Honestly speaking, I feel like it doesn't matter, man. If you're making good, credible music, Fuse proved it. If you're making good credible music, you'll stand out from the crowd. So yeah, man, I don't think it don't matter.
The JamJam Afrobeats show.
This is back.